so sustainability coordinator is basically all things green under the sun. And when people do ask me, my elevator speech tends to be energy, water, solid waste, transportation. Energy, water, solid waste, and transportation. But it's also many, many other things in between. And I took what I learned with helping around that with some great people over the past 6 years, and figured out a way to kind of flesh that out, and I'll go over a couple of the pieces. But one of the reasons why it's really important for us is it comes from a resiliency standpoint. We're at the end of a very long hose and a very long extension cord. You know, our energy, the grid is 100 miles away, our water is 120 miles away, it gets piped over 5 booster stations so that it gets to the right pressure for us down here. Our trash and recycling go 200 miles away. Luckily, we actually get pretty good rates figuring the infrastructure that's there to get us what we get. But any little change, whether it's traffic, whether it's change in oil, peak prices, that can change the prices of those things in a jiffy. And so the more steps we take right now, the more resilient we are to those fluctuations in the future. So what did the city do? Back in 2003, our mayor signed the mayor's climate change action committee, and we got started. Jody Smith-Williams, who was one of the very first vice presidents of Fleet, came on board with the city to actually do the greenhouse gases, because you can't change what you can't count. So we got our greenhouse gases. One of the coolest things the City Commission did then is that not only do we want to make a reduction in greenhouse gases by 15% by the end of 2015, we want not just the city's government side, but actually the entire community's footprint. So my job when I came on, and part of the climate action plan followed, I got hired at the very beginning of last year. And so my goal is to help all the businesses, all the residents, and as well as other policymakers and stakeholders to get to where we're going. So that's a big thing. Well, one of the things that I learned under Glee was it was easier to think about it. It's hard to make, sometimes it's too many choices. People don't know where to start. There's too much information sometimes. So what we actually did is took every single sustainability theme and chunked it into the 12 months of the year. Each month we work on a different subject, and so we can work with stakeholders, get the message together, get a good set of information out, get good press stories, get good coverage, get good policy changes during that time, and then move on to the next thing. 12 themes, 12 months, 12 program. Works for down here, doesn't it? Exactly. First, you have to admit you have a problem. So when we were trying to come, of course, you need a brand, and we're just going to call it the City of Key West, Go Green thing. And so if somebody will start passing these out, we are preserve island life. Because it's not just about, Go Green is overused. Our marketing people actually first presented me dog tags and combat climate change. That would not have gone over well. When we talk to people, and this is very much what Chris Millan did with Love Your Island, it's about why we're here and about why we want to preserve what we have. So you can find us on preserveislandlife.com. But you can also find us on Facebook. The website is our kind of static information and in-depth knowledge. You can sign up there to get our newsletter monthly so you know what's going on. But our primary voice to the public is going to be our Facebook. That's where all of our events are, that's where our programs are. For example, March is Transportation Month. Did you know that tomorrow night Commissioner Jimmy Weekly is taking a walk? We're doing 2 miles of walking through the Truman waterfront area. So if you want to learn more about what's going on there, come and join us. And I'm not going to tell you when I don't speak where. I'm not going to tell you when, because I want you to go to the Facebook page and find out. We also will have both Commissioner Lopez and Commissioner Yanis leading walks. We're going to be doing a bicycle needs workshop. We're going to be doing a bicycle master plan. So instead of having one safe route here and one safe route on this street and one safe bike on this street, we're actually going to have a corridor of sorts so that you can get all the way through without getting run over. And we're going to be working on, for Earth Hour, instead of having everybody, we launched in March 23rd, everybody's encouraged to turn off their lights for 1 hour. We're going to be working with local businesses to do so as well. Instead of sitting at home, come on a bike ride of South Roosevelt. It'll be lovely, it's a 75% full moon. April's Water Conservation Month, and we're going to be doing some real policy work on that one. As the city just completed its comprehensive plan, the overall goals and vision of where we're going, and the next step is actually land development regulations. And so that's where the actual rules happen. That's where we need support in doing certain things. We're going to be getting together with our other planning entities. We're going to be sitting down with the county. We've already got confirmation from Islamorada and Marathon. We're going to sit down and do water efficiency land development regulations. We might as well do them together. South Florida Water Management District is actually going to be hosting a best management practices expo up on the mainland, and we're going to follow up within 2 weeks of that after attending and sit down and write. Some of these things might be a little tight for people, and this is for any new development or redevelopment, but the important thing, going back to that resiliency standpoint, our water supply plan, Florida Keys Aqueduct has on our slated what we're going to do in 2015, 2016, they're pretty sure we're going to be using our the reverse osmosis plant up on the mainland regularly. It was supposed to be for emergencies, but they're pretty sure we're going to be using it says at that point in time we cross that line, we're going to be starting to use them alongside. When that turns on, that's very energy intensive, water's going to cost more. So the more we do now to either keep ourselves below that line, or at least push it down the road and give us some more time to even do more, the better. So we're going to be, really, really looking at our water efficiency standards to make a difference there, and we'll need the community support to get there. Lastly, we're working across, I mentioned, with individuals, businesses, and the government side. We're going to be really working on taking Glee's Green Business program and taking it to the next level. We're going online. We've got a couple of companies beta testing this online version now. Not just for the companies themselves, it will cut the bottom line, for the green tourist. If we have, in the Keys total, 76,000 people, we have 3 million visit. We're going to cut our footprint. We've got to think about that bigger piece of our footprint, which is the people who come and visit us. The good news is, one, most of our visitors already think we're green. Tourist Development Council has found that the number one thing that people say marks a green community is the ability to walk and bike. Well, we have that by default. So now we can start working on purpose to strengthen what we've got, and that's 816. They've also found that the green tourist actually spends more. And then they also, I'm not talking the dirty hippie, I'm talking the Volvo. They spend more and they also live lighter. They don't overuse resources. They don't, leave their trash around. They're looking for the recycle bin, and they're willing to reward the business that has one. So being able to work closer, we've got one looking at the behavior modification. I've got a couple of pilot projects that I want to work on. Seizing on second, people love us, people want to be an islander, they want to take island life home. Getting them to understand that changes that they make when they go back to Iowa will affect our lives on the here. And so we're working on this kind of idea of challenging them and following up to see if it's made a difference of when they go home that they've made these changes. Wrapping up, it can't just be government, it's got to be everybody. We do need the private funding, we do need advocacy groups, and because it takes an island. So that's it.
Thank you.